Ever wondered why the world seems to turn a blind eye to the tragedies occurring on Mount Everest? The highest peak on Earth, standing majestically at an altitude of over 29,000 feet, Everest has always been a symbol of human endurance and conquest. Yet beneath its ice-clad beauty, the mountain holds a darker narrative, one of loss and tragedy. Mount Everest, the pinnacle of human adventure, has been a beacon for climbers worldwide. Its allure is undeniable. The chance to stand atop the world, to conquer the unconquerable, has drawn thousands to its treacherous slopes. But Everest is not a challenge to be taken lightly. Its harsh and unpredictable weather, perilous terrain, and the ever-present risk of avalanches make it a deadly endeavor. And so, we come to the concept of Everest Tragedies. Over the years, the mountain has claimed hundreds of lives, each loss a stark reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. From inexperienced climbers succumbing to the harsh elements, to seasoned mountaineers falling victim to unexpected disasters, Everest has seen it all. These tragedies, however, are more than just numbers. They are stories of human courage, ambition, and sometimes hubris. Yet, despite the increasing number of casualties, these tragedies often fade into oblivion, overlooked and forgotten by the world. They become mere footnotes in the grand narrative of human achievement. The question is why? Why do we choose to ignore the darker side of these expeditions? Why do we dismiss the lives lost in pursuit of this formidable challenge? The answer to these questions isn't straightforward. It's a complex web of factors, ranging from the commercialization of Everest climbing to the desensitization of audiences worldwide. The reality of Everest tragedies is often overshadowed by the romanticization of the ultimate human quest. As we delve deeper, we begin to unravel the reasons behind the world's indifference to these tragedies. Join us as we embark on this journey, exploring the mystery of Everest tragedies and why they fail to resonate with the world at large. The early years of Everest expeditions were filled with excitement and uncertainty. Everest, the tallest peak in the world, has been a symbol of human endeavor and resilience since the early 20th century. The allure of its snow-clad peak and the challenge it presented intrigued adventurers and explorers worldwide. In the early years, the mountain was unconquered, standing tall and mighty, waiting for someone to reach its summit. These were the days of pioneers, of brave souls who dared to dream big and risk everything. The first attempts to conquer Everest began in the 1920s, but the lack of knowledge about high-altitude climbing, combined with rudimentary equipment and volatile Himalayan weather, led to numerous mishaps and tragedies. The 1922 British expedition was one of the early attempts to conquer Everest. The team faced several challenges, including avalanches that claimed the lives of 7 porters. The team did not make it to the summit, but their journey marked an important milestone in the history of Everest expeditions. Each expedition that followed learned from the previous one, slowly gaining knowledge about the mountain and its unpredictable nature. But the risks remained high, and the tragedies continued. The 1924 expedition is still shrouded in mystery, with the disappearance of George Mallory and Andrew Irvine near the summit. Whether they reached the top remains an unsolved puzzle. The turning point came in 1953, when Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay successfully summited Everest. Their triumph was a testament to human courage and resilience. It was a feat that brought hope and ignited the spirit of adventure in people around the world. But it also marked the beginning of an era where the commercialization of Everest began to take shape. As the years went by, the allure of Everest did not fade, but the tragedies continued to mount. The early years of Everest expeditions were a testament to human ambition and tenacity, but they also highlighted the dangers and the high cost of such endeavors. The quest to conquer Everest became a symbol of triumph and tragedy, of dreams fulfilled and lives lost. With the dawn of the 21st century, Everest became more accessible, but at a cost. The commercialization of Everest, a phenomenon that has escalated in the past few decades, has opened a Pandora's box of implications. Once an elusive challenge only dared by the most daring explorers, Everest quickly transformed into a lucrative venture. A host of business-minded individuals saw the opportunity to capitalize on the mountain's allure, offering guided expeditions to those willing to pay the steep price. The mountain's mystique was commodified, and its peak became an item on the bucket list of thrill-seekers worldwide. Yet with this commercialization came an increase in expeditions, and with it, an alarming rise in tragedies. The mountain, once a symbol of human endurance and determination, now bore witness to a grim reality. As more and more people attempted to conquer its peak, Everest became a graveyard for the unprepared and the unfortunate. This increased accessibility to Everest, while democratizing the chance to conquer the peak, also created a dangerous illusion. The allure of standing on the top of the world began to overshadow the inherent risks of such a perilous journey. The mountain's deadly nature was downplayed, replaced with the narrative of an achievable dream. This narrative, however, came at a high human cost. Many climbers, underprepared and overconfident, met their untimely ends on the slopes of Everest. The death toll rose steadily, yet the world seemed largely unperturbed. The commercialization of Everest had not only made the mountain more accessible but also more deadly. And so, what was once a symbol of human achievement and exploration became a harsh reminder of our hubris. The commercialization of Everest turned the mountain into a deadly game, a game that many were willing to pay the price to play. Despite the increasing tragedies, the world's fascination with the mountain remained unwavering. The allure of Everest became a deadly game for many, and yet the world seemed to remain indifferent. In recent years, the tragedies on Everest have become more frequent and more severe. The modern era of Everest expeditions is marred by an alarming increase in calamities. The year 2014 was a brutal wake-up call. 16 Sherpa guides, the unsung heroes of Everest, were buried under a colossal avalanche in the treacherous Khumbu icefall. It was the deadliest day on Everest until then, a grim reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. But Everest had yet another catastrophe in store. In 2015, a massive earthquake struck Nepal, triggering avalanches on Everest. The base camp, usually a sanctuary for climbers, was swept away. 19 lives were lost, surpassing the previous year's disaster. This was Everest's darkest hour. These incidents are but two examples of the modern tragedies on the mountain. Each year brings with it a tally of those who dared to conquer Everest but were instead conquered by it. The death toll is steadily rising, a testament to the lethal combination of increasing commercialization, overcrowding, and an ever-changing, unpredictable mountain environment. Yet, the response to these tragedies has been underwhelming at best. Despite the heightened risks and the escalating number of fatalities, there's a surprising lack of effective measures to prevent such disasters. The problem lies not only in the inherent dangers of the climb, but also in the inadequate preparation, the flawed regulation, and the sheer neglect of safety norms. This is not to say that attempts haven't been made to improve the situation. There have been efforts to better regulate the expeditions, to provide more extensive training to climbers, and to enforce stricter safety standards. But these measures are often met with resistance, are poorly implemented, or simply fall short in the face of Everest's colossal challenges. And so, the modern tragedies continue, each one a stark reminder of the mountain's deadly allure. The world watches, yet does little to intervene, seemingly indifferent to the mounting casualties. Despite the rising death toll, the world's reaction remains largely the same. But why? Why does the world ignore the tragedies on Everest? It's a question that echoes in our minds, a chilling reminder of our collective apathy. The world's indifference to Everest's tragedies can be traced back to the romanticization of the mountain. Everest is often seen as the ultimate symbol of human endeavor and resilience, a testament to our insatiable thirst for adventure. This glorified image overshadows the grim reality of the dangers that lurk at its peak. We marvel at the tales of triumph, of ordinary individuals conquering the extraordinary, and in doing so, we often forget the human cost that these feats demand. Another factor that fuels this indifference is the normalization of death in mountaineering. The harsh reality is that mountaineering is a high-risk sport where death has sadly become an accepted part of the narrative. It's a chilling thought, but the world has grown accustomed to the idea that for some, the quest to conquer the highest peak may be their last. This normalization has led to a desensitization, a numbing acceptance of the fatalities as part of the game. Lastly, the lack of media coverage plays a significant role in the world's indifference. Media outlets, often driven by sensationalism, are quick to report the successful ascents, the triumphant tales of human resilience. However, the stories of those who don't make it back often remain untold, hidden in the shadows of the mountain's glory. The world is often left unaware of the true cost of these expeditions, fostering a culture of ignorance and indifference. The tragedies on Everest continue to be a stark reminder of the human cost of adventure, a cost that the world often chooses to ignore. As we strive for new heights, we must also strive for a deeper understanding and respect for the mountains we climb, acknowledging and addressing the risks involved. Only then can we hope to change the narrative, shifting from indifference to empathy, from ignorance to awareness.